of buying or selling in the new year, you really need to hear what my next guest has to say. Realtor Michael Gaddis is here with Michael Gaddis Realty Group with some tips for you sellers out there. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
You're not just a real estate agent. You're a broker. You are a mortgage broker. Is that right? And also an attorney. You kind of got the trifecta going here.
Yes, I have the skill sets of all three.
So as far as being an attorney, do you specialize in real estate?
I do. As far as my attorney practice is concerned, I specialize in loss mitigation for distressed homeowners.
So folks out there that are at risk of losing their home, they're dealing with a possible foreclosure on their hands, you'd step in.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's huge when people are dealing with this tumultuous real estate market, which in San Diego a lot of folks still are.
Yes.
They really need an expert to hire in, and that's where you would step in.
That's correct.
Okay, so let's talk about some tips for sellers out there.
Okay.
We know that during the winter time in San Diego, things tend to die down. Nobody really wants to be listing their house during Christmas. Well, we're over that hump now, and now people are going to be looking into what can I do to make sure that my house stands out when I go to sell it. One of the things is to stay away from listing your house with a family member or a friend who claims to be a real estate agent. Why do you tell folks that?
Well, for a couple of reasons. One, you know, the home is usually the largest investment that most people have, and it's a business, and they need to treat it as a business. And so staying away from family and friends, one, prevents friction between family members or friendships, and it also, because a lot of times the people that you refer to in your family that say they're real estate agents typically don't have the experience or knowledge to really help facilitate you and help you maximize the return that you can get on your house.
Which is really, really interesting to consider, because Uncle Bob may have his real estate license, or your 19-year-old niece just got hers. I think people out there really need to say, wait a second, how many homes have you sold? How many homes have you listed? How long have you been in this business? And consider some of those things before you hire your real estate agent.
Well, that's correct, and not to mention the fact that every real estate transaction has basically two components. It has a marketing component and a legal component. And marketing is one thing, but making sure that, you know, all of the legal aspects of the real estate transaction are covered are really important.
Absolutely. Let's also talk about detaching yourself from your house. You know, we just say our heart is where our home is.
Right.
So we've got every family picture up on the wall. We've got every growth chart from our child's growing up from since they were little babies. Time to maybe take some of that stuff down. Do you still tell people to do that?
Oh, absolutely. I think that the best thing you can do is try to imagine yourself as the buyer walking into a house. What you need to do is try to make it as a clean slate as possible so that somebody who's looking at your house can imagine themselves living there.
And I think that we need to be careful of the clutter that's in our homes. I know we've got every toy piled up around the house. My house looks like Toys R Us inside a lot of the times.
Right.
And then as the junk mail tends to pile up, it's really time to start boxing that stuff up and getting it out of the way.
Right. You really need to get those unused exercise equipment and all that other stuff out so that when buyers come into your house, they can visualize what that room could be like without seeing how you're cluttering it up. Also,
curb appeal on the outside of the house. What do you recommend folks do? I know they don't want to spend a ton of money trying to get their house ready for somebody else.
Well, I'll tell you, spending a little bit of money making sure that the curb appeal is really nice will go a long way, because if first impressions are what really sell your house and set the tone. So if you have peeling paint or weeds growing all over, that's going to get in the buyer's mind, and at the end of the day, it could affect the price that they offer.
Some people cannot see past that stuff.
No, they
I think
cannot.
That's really important to consider. Now, talk about a winter reduced commission rate. I know that that's a special that you're offering to folks out there that might be listening right now and considering listing their home. What are you willing to do for people?
Well, wintertime is traditionally the slower time in the real estate market, and so to help people who need to sell or want to sell during this time, I'm offering reduced commission rates for those people who want to list during the wintertime.
During the wintertime, so keep that in mind. Now, again, what we talked about off the top of the interview is that you sort of have the trifecta here as far as knowing the mortgage business, knowing the real estate business, of course, being an attorney. Why should folks consider you when, let's just put it out there, Uncle Bob has his real estate license too? Why should people consider you, Michael?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, you know, real estate transactions are marketing, and the legal aspect. If you've never seen a real estate file at the end, it's about this thick. It's about as thick as a phone book, filled with legal documents. So I'm an expert in contract drafting and negotiating, so I bring that extra skill set to people for no additional cost.
All right, all the information was just on the screen, and again, the phone number at the bottom of your screen to reach Michael Gaddis. Also, more information will be on our website. Go to sandiego6.com and click on San Diego Living. Best of luck to you in the new year. I hope your business continues to be successful.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.